Hello and welcome back to my acrylic paint test canvas video. For anyone who's watching this video first, basically making this video in sections because my digital camera only records at 20 minutes at a time. I guess that's how much memory is in it. So I have done 4 colors so far. I've done lamp black, Viridian, ultramarine blue, and vermilion. And I am writing the names and drawing little boxes of color for the paint set that I have here, so that if I want to paint things in the future, I have an idea of how the color is going to come out on the canvases, because I really enjoy using canvases and the way they feel and the way they look on the wall and things like that. So I'm going to continue my testing journey, and the next color is called Crimson Red. Looks like I have opened this one before. Yes. This one looks pretty self-explanatory, I hope. But a lot of times when you have colors like red or orange or browns or whatever, they can come out looking more pink or purple or whatever than you originally hoped, which is annoying when you don't know that ahead of time and you go to paint something and then you realize that you wanted red and it looks pink. So I hope that everyone that is watching is doing really well. I have been kind of sick for the past week, so that's one of the reasons why I haven't put out a video. Apparently, I don't know if it's just where I am or if it's just that time of year, but there appears to be something going around because my mom's a preschool teacher and a bunch of her kids are getting sick, and then my mom and I went out shopping for Columbus Day, and there must have been a ton of people and different like surfaces that I was touching and things like that, and I just got some awful thing where I had like no appetite and nausea and upset stomach and just tired and sleeping all the time, and just generally feeling sick and like headachy and stuff like that. So finally coming out of that, which I'm excited about because it was not fun, but a bunch of people like on Facebook and everything were all kind of saying the same thing, that they were nauseous, and some people were really sick or had fevers. Luckily I didn't have any of that, so I guess I just had the moderate bug and not necessarily the severe one, although it felt pretty awful. I was very, very happy to wake up recently and finally not feel nauseous, because it's just, ugh. Some of those feelings are the worst, especially headaches. So here we have Crimson Red, and I don't know how it's showing up on the camera for you guys, but it definitely is a red. It doesn't look ultra pink or purplish, but you know, it's called crimson, so it is like a darker red as opposed to a like a fire engine red. The next color is called lemon yellow, which is pretty self-explanatory. I didn't try to get too ultra fancy with that one. We got lemon and I want to see how this one comes out on the canvas, like whether it's it shows through on the canvas or not. It's definitely bright and cheerful. These are the worst brushes. They're so cheap. I do put paint on a canvas though, so I guess I can't really complain. Even though I am. Yeah, this is definitely a bright one, but I like it. I'm one of those people, like I guess a lot of people, who get like really weird around the change of the seasons. You know, like when it gets dark out earlier and things like that. I always kind of notice it this time of year, and it's really depressing because there really isn't anything you can do. Well, I guess there are some things you can do. You know, if I were to be surrounded by brighter colors, make sure that I have brighter lights around me, spend time outside, you know, while it is daytime, things like that I think would be helpful, because it's really hard to be as excited and stuff when it used to get dark at 9 o'clock at night and now it gets dark at like 5:45 or 6 o'clock, especially if it's a rainy or cloudy day, which it is a lot in the fall. So I just sort of like the 3 hours difference already of the darkness is really annoying, and I always think that it's later than it is or earlier than it is. I'm always just like off. So that's lemon yellow, and it's actually really pretty, and it actually shows, it actually covers on the canvas better than the blue, even though the blue is darker. It just looks better on the canvas. Okay, so the next one is called Burnt Sienna, and if there are is anybody out there like me who grew up on those Crayola crayons like I was talking about earlier, I believe that was actually one of the original colors of the crayons, burnt sienna. Not entirely sure what burnt sienna is. I mean, I guess I get the burnt part. B-U-R-N-T S-I-E-N-N-A. It does have a crisp kind of burnt look, like a nature-y kind of feel, which I guess is the point. And if you are someone who follows me semi-regularly. You will be happy to know that I did actually get the house that I was looking to buy. So I mostly got it. Technically speaking, I have it. It's just one of those things where it's not really over till it's over. It's not official until they hand you the keys, because there's so many precarious things that can happen. You know, they warn you about kind of, you think everything is all ready to go and then there's some hold up or something like that. So it was, you know, it was really annoying and rough looking for a house. I recommend to everyone that they save as much money as humanly possible when they are going to buy a house, because my budget was okay, but it wasn't really all that great. So I was in a budget bracket that everybody else was in. So even though the prices are pretty good and like the loan rates are good and everything like that, the same houses that I was looking at, everybody else was looking at. So in a lot of my other videos, I was mentioning putting offers in on houses and people outbidding me, and then one situation where the people were like holding out over $5,000 and they wouldn't meet me in the middle, so I just had to walk away from it. And then this house that I finally did get, it was like the offer was accepted, and then before it could go into being under contract, somebody put in a better offer. So I did momentarily lose it until I just decided to kind of put a little bit more money towards it, like just a tiny bit more. And when I went to go see the house again, the realtor for the sellers was there, and I basically just kind of said to him, like, look, this has been an awful situation. I thought I had the house, I was celebrating with my family and everything, and then like an hour later I found out that we weren't going to go under contract because of this other offer, and it was really sad and everything. And the sellers ended up going with my offer, even though it wasn't actually as high as the other people's, because they just felt so bad that situation happened, and I guess their offer was more than mine, but not insanely more than mine. So they were just like, we can't, I guess they actually had a conscience, and they decided that for a couple $1,000 they didn't want to take the house away from me after everything that happened. So they ended up accepting it, which was really cool, and because they really didn't have to do that, and I could possibly still be looking right now. So that is burnt sienna. The next one, I'm not entirely sure who named this one, but it is called Hooker's Green. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a reference to fishermen, like a hooker, or if you know, that's a popular color on Pacific Avenue in Atlantic City. I'm not really sure. I haven't been down there recently, so I don't really know what the hooker fashion is right now. But we're gonna go with fisherman, which still doesn't make a lot of sense, but Anyway, it is called Hooker's Green, so that's what we're going to write. And personally, I think I would probably describe it as more of like a hunter green. In my vocabulary of color, which is very limited, it's a very extremely dark green. Like something, maybe like a forest green, I think, maybe be better. It's definitely something that I would use if I were trying to paint a tree or a landscape or mountains or something like that. The first one that I had done, the first green that I had done, the one that was called Viridian, it's a very unique green. Maybe I can't really think of what I would necessarily use it for if I were to be really seriously painting something, whereas this Hooker's Green is definitely very much nature based. Like I said, something with like a forest or maybe even grass. I don't know. But it's really dark. Like, I think I want to say that in order to really use this color properly, it would have to be next to a lighter color, because it almost looks like maybe gray, like a dark gray, or I don't really know. I'm not sure how much of a fan I am of this color on the canvas, because it just looks muddled. Yeah, maybe I would use it for mud. It's thick too. The color, the paint, everything is just thick. So I don't really know how it's gonna show up on camera, but that is the Hooker's Green. And I mean, that's really the reason why I'm doing this, because that way I can look at it. I can kind of use this as like a legend to decide whether or not, if I am doing something, even if it is just swirls or diagonals or throwing stuff on the canvas or whatever it may be, I can definitely kind of use it to say, to already know whether or not I like a color or if it'll work for what I'm looking for it to work for. So far, I think the lemon yellow is my favorite, just by the way that it goes on and how bright and cheery it is. I would have to say that is my favorite. I am looking forward to learning how to use the brushes a bit more, because they have fractions on them, like 3/4 or 5/8, and I don't know if this one just says number 8. I don't know if certain brushes are supposed to be used for certain things, because I just do whatever. So it's coming up on another 20 minutes. This goes really fast, and it's most likely because I talk a lot. So I'm gonna turn off this installment, and I will come back and fill in the last 4, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.